Hello and welcome to Talking Simulator. I'm Corey.
And I'm Cameron.
Today we're continuing our adventures of I was a teenage exocolonist.
Exo here being the root word of the robots from Destiny.
Oh, is that true?
That is the only other usage of that word I have ever encountered. Therefore, that is the root of that word.
I feel confident that we will make great progress today.
I agree. Game on.
Trying to click a button without looking.
Seriously though, that's my favorite thing in like gamer lore videos is when they encounter a word that they haven't seen before because it comes from, not immediately accessible Greek or Roman mythology. They're like, this is a new word that they made up.
Ooh. Well, I was thinking of some words. Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I read the synopsis for an episode of Victory Gundam that Ian was about to watch, and I was like, this is why people complain about nouns. Because it's just... On top of being Gundam names, they're like names for like the organizations and all of the characters. And
Right.
it's just inscrutable.
I really wonder how much of that we can actually lay at Bungie's feet for like the early 2000s trend away from I don't know, like in genre fiction of like acronyms,
Yep.
like tortured acronyms towards the proper noun. Like in Halo you had the archive or the librarian or the like
the hive, the chunder, the...
Yeah, but like, something very simple.
Yep.
Or very like basil, right?
Yep. Basal.
Basal. Basil. Basil.
I've known some basils.
I killed a basil once.
I ate an entire basil. It was meant for that.
That is good. In the end, are not all basils edible? So,
Here we go.
one thing that immediately, well, not immediately, but one thing I've been thinking a lot of in the past week since we played this game is Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri.
Ooh.
Which,
Does that also contain exo?
well, it is a game about humanity's first extrasolar colony.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar with this game, it was intended to be a sequel of sorts to Civilization 2.
Right.
Where that game ends, or one of its possible endings is with
space.
Yes, with your civilization sending a colony to space and winning the game through a science victory. So Alpha Centauri was about that colony, and its conceit was that contact with Earth was lost very early on due to any number of compounding catastrophes on Earth. And the colony ship itself was beset with disaster when the captain was assassinated, and the remaining officers each led, a colony pod onto the Earth, onto the planet's surface.
Sorry, Admiral Mamos just brought it to my attention. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, or SMAC, as the kids call it.
Yeah. So, in Civilization, where each of the factions is based around a historical, sometimes a very pop historical understanding of, a society that has existed on Earth, the factions in Alpha Centauri were ideological.
Right.
There were militant survivalists.
Sort of like Destiny?
A little. There were survivalists, there was a religious fundamentalist faction, there were like ultra-capitalists, there was the UN faction, there were technologists, and there was, an authoritarian faction. Like a very kind of like information control authoritarian faction.
Okay.
And then the Greens, like the radical environmentalists. And that game dealt a lot with the idea of colonialism. Like, what right do we have to be on this world?
Right.
What do we bring to it, and what will our legacy be as essentially refugees arriving on a world that didn't really invite us to live on it?
Right.
So, that game's plot involves a lot of discovering the nature of the indigenous life on the planet and what your relationship with it will be.
Much like this game.
Yes.
Yes. Later on, we'll get more information about why the colony exists and how it relates to Earth.
But one of the things in a very facile thing to draw the comparison is that Alpha Centauri, the planet was covered, or a large part of it was covered in a fungal network that was pink and orange.
Yeah.
So the color palette here kind of reminds me of that.
The pink, the dust that's all over the place is a fungus.
Okay.
Also, just give me a second. See if that works.
All right.
One day we'll make everyone happy.
Considering that I can have a microphone directly in front of my mouth and it still will struggle to pick me up, I don't know what to do about this, but it's been a recurring problem for years.
All right. Let's see if there's any new additions. We didn't read Unisaur.
No. Unisaurus unicorn. Usually docile carnivorous reptilians, extremely dangerous when hungry. Feeds every 2 weeks using its inner pharyngeal mouth to pull in its prey like an eel. Cool.
Like a alien.
Mm-hmm.
Pharyngeal. Let's talk to Mars. Mars is in a huff. Because you didn't pick her for Valentine's Day? Seems like nobody picked her.
Brutal.
Crosses her arms and scowls at you. Why isn't Nanami so popular all of a sudden? She doesn't even try. All she thinks about is sports ball. Whatever. Mars mutters, tossing her hair. I'm just too mature for kids my age. The older kids get me, even if you don't. All my friends are in their 50s.
One thing I noticed about Mars when I was playing at home is that she's the one who comforts, what's her name? The girl who died.
Tammy.
Yeah, during the crash.
Yep.
And I wonder how, if Tammy's death maybe affected Mars a bit more than everyone else.
All right. So we're friends with an enemy. We're being a good child and doing our studies. It's currently almost the end of pollen, so the harvest festival's soon. So let's get back to work.
All right.
Today in class, you're studying genetic enhancements. Nearly everyone in the class has one, chosen for them by their parents before they were born. And it's all thanks to gene tech, Hal exclaims. Isn't it amazing? People of Earth almost never had access to this stuff. We have all the equipment right here in our little colony. This bad boy holds so many
enhancements.
Gattacas. Looking around the class, you see an incredible array of genetic modifications, animal features, enhanced sensory organs, and the like. There's much more you can't see. Come on, don't be shy, Hal says, spreading his palms. Tell me all of your strengths and weaknesses. I mean, what sort of things has old Instance been able to do in her lab? Feel free to share if you have one that people can't see. Most kids share their genetic enhancements if they have them. Temperature doesn't bother me, Cal answers when it's his turn. I'm never too hot or too cold. I'm always just right. I hate him now.
Yeah, that seems OP, honestly.
Someone jokes that Cal doesn't sweat. That explains why he smells like flowers and sunshine all the time. Tang keeps quiet and skips her turn to share. I love to smell Cal. I sniff him all the time.
Yeah, we just sniff Cal all the time.
Cal sniffs his own armpit and laughs. Like flowers, I guess, a little. I think I smell like being outside. Shall we smooch him?
Uh, I suppose we could. It's offering us the option. This seems a little, like, uninvited.
I mean, we got 15 friendship with him. He'll get in touch with his emotions.
Isn't he also still mourning Tammy?
It's been
A year?
a year, a single year.
A single
half
year?
of a year.
Yeah, he's had 10% of his life to get over it.
Yeah.
Also, just like, he's one of those, he's that guy who's gonna wear shorts when it's minus 30 out. We all known the guy who in the dead of winter is still wearing shorts, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Usually he's the drummer in your friend's heavy metal band.
Who needs showers when you have the rain? That's what I'm saying, Cal says, giving you a fist pump. Pump. Da-da-da-da. Ooh, free stress relief. And then we can just... Meh. It's fine.
Yeah.
Doodly-doodly-doo. Any conversations waiting to happen?
Log.
Okay, so our stress is pretty high, but again, the festival's coming.
Yeah.
So, no going outside, because that raises our stress really quickly, and I think we explored basically everything other than getting our ass caught.
So, do we want to, like, maybe go into the lounge to lower stress? Or do we want to work harder?
Well, the festival...
The festival will lower our stress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we can either... We're close to getting a toughness perk. So maybe sports ball.
Hmm.
Just 1 second. When there's no sports ball game on, the security teams who train nearby use the field to practice with long-range rifles. As you show up to sports ball practice, Com is helping take down the net. Sorry, kiddos, he says. Rhett wants us practicing with the big guns today. We can't have you running around the place. Bullets in these drone rifles are heat-seeking, even though they're programmed to avoid human targets. Safety first! We'll just make sure to aim them kind of away from the children.
Yeah. Just waft bullets.
Today was supposed to be our day to have the sports ball field, Cal complains. Your soldiers don't even want to play sports ball. You just want to shoot your dumb, noisy guns. Nem bounces over. Hello? They have more than just huge guns. They have cool stun gloves that are like magic lightning arcing out of your fingertips. It's super galactic.
That is super galactic.
Cal shakes his head. That's not the point. Stand up to those soldiers or let them do what they're doing.
What does unchangeable mean?
You saw how, like, last round there was a slot that was, like, +1?
Yeah. Oh, so this card can never be modified?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a flat 4. This one has a gem.
Hmm.
I like sharing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was on the schedule. Was it?
Was it?
Was it?
You help them tear down the net and move the goal rings to the side to show there's no hard feelings. Security Chief Rhett lets you stay and watch the soldiers firing those huge drone rifles. Maybe when you're a bit older, you can join the defense squad too. Sharing is caring. Bop, 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 bop.
Victory.
It's time once more for Vertumnalia! Mood of the colony has been mooted this year, ever since the attack during Glow. Though everything is still cheerfully decorated and the feast table is still heavy with food, mostly soy rations, this Vertumnalia just feels different in a way you can't describe. Colonists gather in the square for Governor Udicott's speech. What a year Vertumna has given us, the governor begins in her weedy voice. I stand before you so proud of everything the colony has accomplished in such a short time. I have always hoped that we would bring with us the best facets of humanity, cooperation, resilience, and creativity, and the events of this year have given me no reason to doubt my convictions. These creatures were unexpected, but I urge everyone to consider what it means for life here. If Vertumna can sustain megafauna, then that means conditions are good for us as well. Our friends in geoponics are already working on the logistics of domesticating the wildlife. Your dad, as second cultivator, stands and gives a sheepish wave to the crowd. There's a smattering of applause. Woo! Taming the dinosaurs! Mars elbows you. Hey, she whispers. Did you hear? My dad says Udicott's gonna announce the depot's open to the public. You shoot her a questioning look and she rolls her eyes. You know, shopping. Somewhere to spend all the kudos you've been saving up. There's gonna be candy and toys and makeup and nice smelling soap. Not the boring kind in the communal showers. You know the concept of shopping.
Nice smelling soap's nice. Very good, Cameron. Nice smelling soap is nice. My favorite is tautology scented.
This soap smells like soap.
This soap smells like smell.
Don't like that smell. I don't like that smell at all. You know the concept of shopping. They do it in the holovids from Earth, especially the ones Mars likes. But you've never actually done it. The colony provides everything you need, but it would be nice to buy yourself a treat. My dad's give me an allowance, Mars says, shooting you a look of pity. It's too bad your parents make you work for yours. You and Mars tune back into the speeches just as Udicott, as predicted, announces the opening of the general store at the depot. Mars gives you a knowing look as she claps. Shopping.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Udicott,
Get in, nerds.
Udicott gestures for the council members to stand. Finally, the council remains unchanged from last year. Nobody died this time. We are, as always, proud to serve you and the colony as your government. The music starts up as Governor Udicott finishes. Thank you all for your hard work and perseverance this year, she says over the ruckus. Together we build the future. What song is playing? We're the champions?
Maybe. Or like, don't stop believing. Don't start not believing.
Don't start not believing. It's a local ship shanty. So what do we do this year? Science fair, bot wrestling, stuff our faces with food?
Ooh. Well, we won the science fair last year by doing something so much shittier than what Tang had. I still can't believe we won.
With our volcano.
With our fucking baking soda volcano versus Tang's urine filtering
we used
device.
Locally sourced ingredient.
So did Tang, to be fair.
So do you want to see what we rolled her with this year?
Yeah, I kind of want to see how we just absolutely demolished Tang this year. Tang's built a laser. She's built a fusion reactor.
Her project is on the tensile strength of various building materials, concluding that mushwood is the best choice when you consider not just strength, but also sustainability and ease of use and squishiness.
I want the consequence of us winning this to be that Tang never speaks to us again.
One slot will turn cards mental.
Well.
3-3. 3-3.
Yeah.
3-3. 2. Kablam. And now we have.
Well, we could just roll out all our blues.
Well,
our blueies.
Some of these are going to become blueies.
Yeah. Set neighbors to this value.
So let's pop. And then there's no gems, so we don't get extra bonus. How does that feel?
Yes. Yeah, we'll save that one for gems.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, the rainbow card.
Yes.
Is every color?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't we put, like go 3, 5, 2, in that order?
3, 5. This 2.
Yeah. Right. +1 for each gem on other cards.
Yeah.
All cards under 2 become 2.
That's close. How about we do,
Wow, 21.
2, 2, 3, 5, 0. That's worse. It's just worse. Haha.
That's debatable.
What?
No, I love the name
What?
of that card.
What?
I can't believe that we answered a question in class, like a very yes or no question with, that's debatable.
God, I really want to fix our camera. I don't know why it's cut that way.
Yeah.
Bugs me. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Right, I can also push through on the stress if need be. Or use, like, some of our sticks.
Yep. +2 to a card?
Yeah. So, what I wanted to do was kind of line stuff up so that there was a ramp, but that's a little better. If I do this.
We use log to win.
Hit him with a stick! In secret, you've been working on a social experiment about delayed gratification. You've been sneakily studying the adults, taking notes on their snacking habits and their mood. You found that Seek and Dr. Instance rarely eat sweets, but Utopia and Antecedent do it all the time. You correlate this with their attention span when you see them tackle frustrating problems. You know, problems you can control and repeat, like if a child backtalks to them. It was all part of an experiment.
Yeah. We're gonna catch a beating for this.
The judges are impressed with your methodology. Instance, perhaps a little begrudgingly, they award you first place. I spied on people.
If a child came up to me with, like, a peer-reviewed paper saying, like, these are the results of every time I was shitty to you, and you lost your patience with me.
I've been watching
or
you
had to
eat.
walk away. Yeah. And I correlated that failure of yours, the way that you failed me, with your poor eating habits. And then I published it, and then I used that publication to win a paper. I think I would lose my mind.
After After the festivities are over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. Mars organizes a water fight that takes over the whole colony, even the adults. It brightens everyone's spirits, even in the thick heat of dust.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I use my science fair money to buy this cake, which I'm gonna eat in front of you.
You end up on top of the western wall with this, launching water-filled poof shrooms down on an unsuspecting enemy in the sports ball court below. The walls seem like a neat place to hang out and relax, much quieter than the lounge if you're looking for some solitude. And that solitude will often include this. Yeah, we should definitely keep focusing on science. We're the worst. Oh, let's check out the depot. Let's price some trinkets. Here we go.
Ooh, a
So
cake.
yeah, the thumbs up is our kudos.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we've got 50, so we can buy any of these except that.
Mm.
We can't buy the photophoner, which is a
It's a
an
musical
instrument. Yeah, that we can practice in our room.
Oh, is it like the does it project holograms?
I don't know.
It looks like the one from Futurama.
Ooh,
+5 animals, +1 to all flushes. To
I like
pairs.
this one.
Yeah. Doll, gardening trowel. What's the book?
Uh,
Animal book. Or just a cake.
just a cake. Just a cake. I like doll.
Doll? Yeah, +1, +5 to persuasion.
Yeah, or that's not necessarily going to help us, but
I mean,
the pairs.
yeah, +1 to pairs are very common. Right? We'll probably get a lot of mileage out of just like getting +1 to pairs.
Yeah. But that will currently, until we unlock more slots, it'll replace our medallion, which gives us +1 on challenges. I'll take it.
Yeah. It's an action figure, Mom.
It's just cuddly. Alright. We can dig dirt to get strong.
Okay.
We're helping our parents. We're pulling weeds in the garden beds when you see Cal scurry past you moving with a purpose. He doesn't even stop to say hello before he disappears into a barn. Rude.
What if he's up to something awesome?
Let's
and he's
follow
keeping
him.
it from us.
Yeah. Slip into the barn behind Cal. He's so absorbed in whatever's in the broken storage box, he doesn't hear you. You can do it, he whispers. Come on, go, go, go. You creep forward, but the barn door creaks closed behind you. Cal jumps. Marginalia, he says, moving between you and the box. What do you need? What's in the box, Cal?
Fork it over.
What's in the box?
Spit it up.
Cal clenches his fist. Nothing, it's nothing. Whatever Cal is going to say next is interrupted by a chirping noise from the box. Cal gasps and whirls around. You both rush forward to look at a pink caterpillar-like creature about the length of your arm, blinking up at you with big, multifaceted eyes. Its mouth parts wave at you and make a clicking, chirping noise. It's hatched, Cal says. Hey, little baby, welcome to the world.
What is it?
What is it? Dunno. I looked it up in the survey archives, but nobody found anything like it before. It's true. You have no idea what this creature is. You know about this? Yeah, it showed up in one of the first shipments of mushwood. Just curled up in a little cocoon. Looked like a dried up leaf, but warm. I didn't want to throw it away because whatever was inside was still living. No one was using this busted up storage box, so...
This thing is going to lay eggs in our thorax.
Cal puts the small creature on his shoulder. What are you, little buddy? You look like a big old caterpillar, but cuter. Creature yawns, showing off circular rows of tiny, even teeth. It nestles against Cal's neck as he scritches it under the chin. Maybe we can call you a dilly pillar. He touches one of the 6 white-capped feet. Socks. Socks, the dilly pillar.
It could be dangerous, Cal.
Cal pouts. Everything could be dangerous on this planet. Look at her! She's harmless! He pulls a leaf off a potted plant, offers it to Socks, who greedily chomps it all up. See? She's a plant eater. Plant eaters are the good guys. Like us.
It's gonna fucking eat your tongue and replace it, Cal.
I have to hide her, Cal says, looking around. Think she'll be okay if I keep her in the broken storage box? He places Socks gently on the box and closes the lid. Go back to sleep, little buggy wuggy. Sleep tight. And then he died. We did so good. We're so close. Now it's late dust. Can't neglect school or our friends or our state of well-being. Sports ball, school, or back in the shed to make sure Socks hasn't replaced Cal already.
No, I think we can just afford to ignore whatever's going on over there.
Let's hit up school. Maybe if we study life sciences, we'll figure out what that thing is.
Yeah. Professor Hal tells you about how people on Earth would learn about reproduction on the social level before they learn about the science of how it all works. He says that you're lucky because if this were an Earth class, you'd probably all be carrying around trippets and pretending they're babies in an attempt to scare you off of prematurely reproducing. Sounds ridiculous. Even if you could accidentally reproduce, which you can't, it's not like you'd have to take care of the baby on your own. The whole colony would help raise it.
Get to work. Triple twos.
Why don't we put the gem card in the card becomes mental, and then the other two blue cards?
Bop, bop.
Yeah.
Bop, bop. Now it's wet out.
Tis. What do we get for doing our career?
The depot stuff?
Yeah.
That is
Mental and strength?
2 organization, 1 perception, 1 friendship with Mars, 5 kudos. But really, I just want the perk.
Yeah. Okay, let's go and do something that boosts our toughness then.
I mean, perception's almost
Almost
as
good
well.
enough for...
Come on. Come on. There we go. Dear mouse over. Let's toughness first.
Okay.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
And we boost our friendship with Nem.
No.
You run into Cal and Nem on the hill behind the garrison at the small construction site. They seem to be throwing logs. There are a bunch of them lying at the bottom of the hill. It's a caber toss! Nem shouts to you, then grunts with the effort of lifting a 6-meter-long mush tree pole. She throws it like a javelin down the hill and sprints after it. My best record, she shouts, and ties a piece of caution tape to the end of the pole. Your turn next, Cal says, pointing it to a neatly stacked pile of construction poles beside you. From the look of the nearby construction, they're probably destined to be new lookout towers someday. Let's get the thick, heavy one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're beefy.
We're
burly.
11.
Yeah.
We have good decision-making capacity.
Good.
Getting in trouble's a fake idea.
Challenge mode. Wee-oo, wee-oo. Cal makes a noise like a siren. Shouts down to Nem. Marginalia's gonna throw a bacon, so you better get out of the landing zone. Pole isn't exactly that heavy, but its length makes it hard to balance. You struggle to get underneath it with your knees bent. This is gonna be tough. Lift, run, throw. So, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Doop-a-doop.
Goal 46.
Doop.
In 3 rounds?
Yep.
All right.
Don't like that card becomes 2.
Yeah, no, that sucks.
Let's just get all these 3s in then. 24. We can do 24.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. No, get. Easy.
Crushed it.
The pole sails down the hill past all the other poles, coming to a rest sticking out of the ground. Wow, you beat my best distance, Nem says when she jogs back up. Players can't beat each other in mushwood toss, Cal corrects her. They can only beat their own high scores. You get 3 bonus points if it sticks out of the ground like that. You play for the rest of the afternoon, adding rules and variations as you go. You don't stop until the entire stack of poles are in a jumble at the bottom of the hill and decorated festively with caution tape. It's a wonder you got away with this.
We're going to have to haul all those back up here.
We did good. Midwet. Anything to see during this midwet? Alright. Does it have to get up to 40? Shovel. Join Cal at a particularly fragrant pile of compost. He's trying to use his hoverboard as a wheelbarrow, carefully pushing compost off it into the pile. Don't you just love this? Cal asks excitedly.
Your hoverboard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I mean just this. He waves his arms, dirt encrusted up to the elbows to take in the entire greenhouse. We get to help plant stuff and watch it grow, even if we're just moving dirt around. We're still helping. But
why?
Why?
But why?
Well, I like digging holes in the dirt because it's so full of surprises down there. I found a worm. Let me see if I can find her again. Sticks his hand in the compost and rummages around, his tongue sticking out of his mouth. I guess she got away. She was real shiny, like a rainbow. Wait, I just thought of a thing I like better. He shows you his splayed hand. Getting dirt under my fingernails. I don't know why, but it's the best. He's been replaced by the worm.
He's 100% replaced by the... Wait, he says. We just thought of a thing we like better. Getting dirt under our fingernails.
And in our anterior port. Hey, we crossed the line.
Yeah. We're tough like Box.
Hey. Alright.
I wonder if everyone has, like, very practical enhancements.
Scales? Doesn't need to sleep that much?
Yeah, Cal has good temperature regulation.
Don't know Dis's deal.
And we don't know Mars's yet.
Mars is bossy. B word. That's her enhancement.
Like, and Tammy had, like, pointed ears, so maybe, like, enhanced senses?
Maybe.
Yes, Spade Slick. Our enhancement is that we are even-tempered. We're just
We got
very...
to pick it.
Yeah, we got to pick it, so we build up stress a little slower.
Haja. Professor Hal looks almost apologetic. It's important to check on how you're all doing with the material, he explains. So we're having a pop quiz on what we've been covering this month. Earth's ecosystem and the climate crash of the late 20th century. This should be easy so long as you've been paying attention. Even the other students exchange looks of horror. A pop quiz? Two people look unfazed, Tang and Cal. Both are sitting near enough that you could probably ask them for help before the quiz begins. Well,
Yeah. Well, they don't like us that much.
they don't like us that much. Oh, we're trying.
Goal of 48. Luckily, we have a lot of logs to throw at this problem.
It's like it's all gonna mess up. This can pair, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. 0, 2. No, the plus one's just meh. But.
I mean, could we do...
What?
17? We can do 17.
We could probably do 17. We're a baby. 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
Haha! You did well. Just tried to imagine the most destructive things humankind could do to the planet, and that was usually the answer, no matter how far-fetched. Deserts growing, terrible storms, sea level rising, species becoming extinct. Whoa, scary. Cal and Tang look happy with their scores, too. Isn't it lovely? As you file out of class, you catch up with Tang and share your thoughts about what you've been learning in class. Earth humans had space travel, gene tech. Shouldn't they have been able to fix the planet? Isn't science the solution to everything? Tang scoffs, no. Not even science can help people who don't believe in it. Even if the solution is obvious to anyone with half a brain, if the people in charge don't do what's needed to be done, what's the point? What's the point? Stuffs away.
What's the point of science if you lose to a baking soda volcano?
Ah! There's a commotion in the square. An expeditions vehicle has driven through the gates and is idling in the middle of the square, an unusual sight. People come down from command to investigate. Utopia gets out of the vehicle and trudges over to Uticott. After a brief conversation, you see Uticott gesture for people to unload the vehicle and clear the area. You stay out of the way to see what they're unloading.
Who's Utopia? She's the scout, right? The one that we're supposed to avoid?
Yeah.
Right.
She takes over the door after Tonin disappears, has an accident. Maybe this is where he dies. I don't know.
Right.
It's a body!
Oh. Chief Surveyor Tonin's body. Someone quickly covers him with a sheet, but not before the image of his torn open body is seared into your memory. However he died, it was violent and bloody. You feel your stomach cramp with nausea.
What happened? Dis asks, coming over to crouch around the corner with you. You share that Uncle Tonin is dead, and he stares the sheet-covered body intensely as if he could see through it. Did they say how? I'm sure they'll tell us later. Don't worry, there's no monsters. No, they won't. They'll just tell us something happened, same way a bunch of animals just happened to attack the colony. They don't want us to know about the monsters and other worse stuff. They want us to think everything is fine, but it's not. The planet isn't as nice as they say it is. They hate that they can't control us. You and Dis watch the adults carry Uncle Tonin's body away. From the way he's practically vibrating, you can tell Dis wants to ask more questions about what happened. After a few awkward minutes, he sneaks away without saying anything, probably to try to take a look at the body. At least Tammy isn't around to see this, you think. At least they're together now, wherever people go when they die.
Antecedent's going to be in rough shape.
You watch Utopia bend over to get a hug from Uticott, wiping her eyes as she finally cries. Uticott has never been the most comforting presence in your life, but it seems to help. Utopia will probably be the next chief surveyor. At 24, she'll be the youngest council member. She was only a toddler when the stratosphere left Earth. Apparently, her sharp eye and hoverbike flying skills are the best in expeditions. Cha-chunk. Hey, who turned off the lights? Aha! Crystal gems. Alright. Yeah. Maybe just take a
breather.
take a breather. Just chill with people. Lots of kids treat the lounge as an informal study hall, especially Tangent. And Mars too sometimes if she's trying to impress Tangent. You crack open a textbook and your holopalm and read about some old dead Earth poets. Just because you're not in class doesn't mean you can't read ahead a little bit. Get rid of baby.
Yeah, the time we were happy as a baby.
Yeah.
It's been a quiet glow, but the grim, surreal darkness of the season reminds you of last year's violence. As the month wears on, you overhear arguments at dinner, adults worrying that an attack is still coming, and others who think the first one was a fluke. Surveyors mention seeing new tracks in the forest, but are shushed so people don't panic. The gates are closed. You drill emergency procedures, filing soundlessly from the classrooms to the creche to hide under tables, waiting for the sirens to call the all clear. You drill and prepare and worry, but nothing happens. Then, just as glow is starting to wane, the toxic purple spill of the wormhole fading as the suns almost rise past the horizon again, the sirens start. You're reading a holo novel in bed when you hear them, followed by the stomp of boots down the hallway outside your quarters. An alert flashes on your holopalm. Shelter in the creche. This is not a drill. You get another message from your dad. Me and Mom are going to stay in the greenhouses. We're safe. Just follow Auntie Anne to the creche and wait for us, okay? Don't worry, we're way more prepared than we were last year. Love you, stay safe. I think we were going through a tunnel.
You what?
I think we were going through a tunnel when we got that message on our holopalm.
Go through the crash where you belong, or follow security guards. Let's go!
You sneak out of the living quarters and head towards the gate. You're immediately spotted by Security Chief Rhett, who stops what he's doing to yell at you and gesture angrily. The hell are you doing out here? This is no place for kids. Get your ass back inside.
Help? Help.
Help.
We're a hero, baby.
Yeah. All of these mental cards will surely...
Yeah. No, garbage. No, this is
we
all
could just do
mistakes.
333?
We could do 333. But which 3 gets +1? This one. And then 2, 2, 3, 3, 5. 3. Yo, come on. Let me play the last card. Bam. I win.
Hooray!
I beast.
You stick around the outside of the skirmish at the gates, throwing rocks and yelling at any creatures that gets too close. You're not sure if it makes a difference, but the good news is, at least you're not injured. When the dust clears, Rhett spots you hiding in the shadows and personally escorts you back to your quarters, where your mom and dad penalize you for disobeying them. When the things have calmed down, you overhear your parents talking. I'm not going to be the first to congratulate Rhett, but all of his defensive improvements were exactly what we needed, your mom grumbles. Ugh, he's going to be insufferable at the next council meeting. Your dad pats her head. Credit where credit's due, Flulabelle, he says and smiles despite himself. It could have been worse. Your mom nods, and they both sit in silence before your dad speaks again. Poor Hal, he sighs. What a way to go.
Professor Hal?
Your parents startle. Hey, Pumpkinhead, your dad says. Yeah, they're going to announce it in a few hours after everyone's had a chance to calm down. He didn't make it.
What happened?
Don't you worry about that, your mom replies, shooting your dad a look to keep him from talking. It's adult stuff, okay? You guys won't be able to go into engineering wing for a little bit, not until it's decontaminated.
Did he explode?
You curl up quietly to think. Professor Hal can't just die. He can't just be gone. He's your teacher. And the engineering wing is where you take classes. You can't imagine something bad happening in such a safe place. You fall asleep thinking for sure there's been some mistake. Well, into engineering wing.
But we can't. Yay!
Yay.
Now we're 12. Ah, the awkwardest age. Tangent is storming around the quad in front of engineering, checking notes in her hollow palm, gesturing and grunting in frustration. Ugh! This is the worst!
Hormonal much? She immediately punches us in the throat.
Yeah!
Fuck.
Tang fixes you with a look that could blow a hole in the wall of a
I
spaceship.
didn't mean to actually...
That's not how hormones work, she says icily. Not that you would know that, you nullhead. You probably don't even care that he's dead. She stumps away. She surges off before you can ask who. What are you talking about, Tang? Who's dead? I missed that memo. Just went through a tunnel. Alright, let's talk to Utopia. Hey. Am I big enough to go outside?
You step cautiously through the colony gates. All right. Whoa there, Scamp. They'd kill me if I let you out of the colony. Sorry, kiddo. You'll have to wait till you're old enough. I know it's hard.
Should we...
Sneak out through the drain pipe? Yeah.
Yeah.
All events have respawned.
Alright. Let's get some stuff. Answer my questions.
The muck hides interesting bugs and other treasure for those willing to put their hands down the right holes. Are you? Hell yeah. We're 12 now. Looks dark.
Look closer.
You've stuck your hands down enough holes to know. This one's probably safe. You can't hear anything rustling around in there.
Yeah.
Sweet! Literally! The hole is full of sugar bugs. These palm-sized balls of squish exude a sweet syrup when you tickle them. You fill a bottle with it and then let them go again. Should be worth a few kudos to Antecedent in the kitchens.
She doesn't ask questions.
When she can stop crying.
Where'd this come from? Oh, yeah, it's just a hole in the ground. Oh.
You leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to one of the little sawmills dotting this area. It's a small but busy operation, 3 people feeding mush tree logs into some kind of machine while a 4th one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front.
Stay and watch what they're doing.
You stay out of sight and watch how they do it. When one tree crashes down, it almost seems like the others are wincing. It's probably just your imagination, though. They aren't planting new ones or leaving any behind. You know the mush trees regrow every year, but can they still regrow when you cut down everything like this?
So we've already got one of these. But we got extra perception.
Yeah. New perk.
Hey! So now they get, like, that around them. Makes it easier to see. Sup, Dis?
The second sun is beginning to set, and you're planning your route back to the gates when you spot Dis in the distance. He waves you over. Hi, Marginalia, he says gloomily. He sighs. I wish we didn't have to go home. I wish we could stay out here forever.
I'm good to my parents.
Yeah. What if, he began, what if we didn't go home? Today, I mean, what if we stayed out and camped overnight? He gestures to the pack on his back. I brought a tent, just in case, and a perimeter sensor, and I found a spot right near the depot that looks safe.
I mean, it's not glow.
Yeah. I mean... people would shit their pants.
Uh-huh.
They might shit our pants.
Is that we get in trouble, or that's dangerous because they'd shit our pants? They would take our pants away.
He's gonna do it, though.
Do it!
Yeah. Dis sets up the tent while you place the perimeter posts around the edge of the clearing. If anything trips this invisible wall around your campsite, at least you'll know about it. Without even saying goodnight, Dis crawls into the tent, takes off his jacket and stuffs it behind his head, then curls up in a ball facing the wall. He falls asleep almost immediately. You crawl in beside him and pull a thermal blanket over yourself. You're exhausted from a long day of hiking in the jungle, so despite the excitement of being out in the wild at night, you quickly fall asleep as well. You both awake to a blaring alarm and bright lights filling the campsite. It's the perimeter alert. Something must have triggered it. Dis sits bolt upright and looks at you with wide eyes. Should you go out there to check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even a baby could look. 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Yeah.
All fives.
You both carefully open the door and peek out through a crack. Nothing. Whatever it was, the lights and noise must have scared it off.
Bummer.
The sun is almost up and you are definitely not getting back to sleep after that, so the two of you eat soy rations and quietly watch the sun rise over the jungle together. When the surveyors open the gates and start prepping for the day, you pack up your gear and go home. You expect the worst, but nobody even noticed you were gone. You left the privacy curtain on your bed closed, and your parents must have come in late and left early, thinking you were asleep the whole time. You're lucky, but it also makes you feel a little sad.
It's hard to be a rebel when no one notices.
Yeah. What if you threw a rebellion and nobody came?
Welcome, Raiders!
Hey.
How's it going, Dungeon Scrollers?
You've been having weird dreams as usual. They seem to get worse around Glow. You wake from a dream that has tears drying on your face, though you can't remember why. Just that you were terrified. Whatever it was, it felt real enough that for a moment you just lie in bed with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You blearily rub your eyes and... Surprise! Oh, it's the French. Oh, it's your birthday! Your dad leaps onto your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head. 12 years old now. Wow, can you believe it? No, your mom answers for you, laughing as she hands you your presents. It was just yesterday Antecedent was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks, you open your presents. Which one is your favorite?
Let's see. Flowers? A cute toy? Or that instrument?
Ooh.
I want the flowers.
Okay. Yeah. They're exotic because they came from Earth. I saved these seeds in cold storage for over 20 years just for this day, your mom says proudly. These are the very first Earth flowers to bloom on Vertumna. White astrantia. She pinches your cheek. They're special, just like you. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on the table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, we've been here 2 years now. I know your dad and I have always said you're in charge of your schedule, but we've been keeping an eye on you.
Uh-oh.
A loving eye, your dad interjects, stuffing wrapping paper into the recycler pickup bin. A trusting, gentle eye.
Uh-oh.
Professor Hal used to tell us all the time about how hard you're trying in school, your mom continues. That's great. Your dad and I are really proud of you. Working might seem fun and grown up when you're a kid, but if you want to do more than manual labor, you'll need some book smarts too. Your dad joins you again. So, it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. At the look on your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we're not going to make you get a job right now. We're just asking what you want to be when you grow up.
Well, gonna pop out like 5 babies. Empathy, reasoning, biology, toughness, bravery, persuasion. The only thing we have too low is creativity. Oh no. Our creativity is too low.
Oh.
If we're captain of the sports ball team, we can always hang out with our best buddy.
True. I don't know. Do I have to decide right now?
Yeah.
You feel overwhelmed by the decision. Of course not, sweetie, your dad says, hugging you. It's okay to not know yet, and it's okay to change your mind later. We didn't know we wanted to be off-world farmers when we were 12, of course. Sometimes you just figure it out as you go. Well, your mom starts to get up. I'm sure your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have considered a career as a depot clerk, but Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there, and she needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. If you don't take that job, you tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles.
Well, mid-quiet, you know what that means.
Is it time for a break?
It's time for a break, everybody.
All
So, sit tight or stand loosely.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, collapse into a pile.
You have roughly 3 to 5 minutes to pile yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then compile yourself. Or not. Got there.
All right. We're back. The both of us.
Truth. Let's continue being a teenage exocolonist.
We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's still stuff outside to explore.
So, why a teenager? Why start at 10 and then let us age up instead of being an adult?
To limit our agency and influence in the colony.
Sounds reasonable. It kind of graduates the amount of information that we're responsible for absorbing at any given time.
Yep.
I suppose it lets us direct our interest, right? Like, you can imagine that if you were a fully adult astronaut arriving on a colony, you just get handed like a binder that's 5 pages thick, or
Yeah.
5 inches thick.
Like, you know how, like, Fallout 3 starts, or 4? Fallout, where you're in the bunker and it lets you be a baby first,
Mm-hmm.
just so you can learn how the controls work, and you get those early boosts, and you're like, oh, I want to be strong, or stealthy, or...
Right.
And it's also kind of just the story they wanted to tell, where...
Yeah, like that this is a colony where there are children, for one thing. And that, like... sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, there's children, and they're raised communally, like it's a little different from regular Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives the player kind of a way to become introduced to the culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's a 20-year trip through the wormhole to get here, and it's a baby colony.
Mm-hmm.
And gives us enough time to, like, deal with the early problems while growing and learning.
Yeah. And I guess it gives us license to be a little bit selfish, too. Like, if we were an adult, the colony is clearly struggling. We probably wouldn't get to do as many interesting things.
Yeah.
If we were an adult. Like, our parents worked dawn to dusk trying to grow food here.
Yeah.
Right. And I get the impression that's what most of the adults do. They have a responsibility, and everyone's kind of frantically trying to make sure the colony doesn't fail. Except for, the children who are allowed to play.
Let's see if they've cleaned up the hell mess.
Yeah. You're not sure what to expect from life sciences class this soon after Professor Hal's death. He was the teacher back on the ship. Who could possibly replace him? You take your seat in the classroom. There's no teacher here yet. You and the other students wait, exchanging awkward glances as time passes. Eventually, Chief Engineer Instance breezes through the door. She's accompanied by Tang, who takes a seat beside you, barely giving you a second look. Life sciences, Instance snaps. Who can tell me what it is? She points at you. Marginalia, start us off with the correct answer, please.
The wet sciences?
The class giggles, breaking the tension. How witty, Instance mutters. Wit does you no favors in the real sciences, though. If you want to sit around and talk about great people, may I suggest focusing on the humanities? It's time for your end-of-term project. You, Tang, and Cal are all ready to prove that you're capable scientists. Seeing as everyone works together in the colony, you're expected to come up with a project that the three of you can agree on. You can already tell that there's going to be a problem.
Volcano.
Volcano. We should do a genetics experiment, insists Tang. I have access to the lab around the clock, and I'm already in there every day. It'd be so simple just to come up with an experiment for something I'm already working on. And efficient. It's the perfect choice.
Boring.
Cal considers. I don't know. Lab work is only half the picture, you know. I think we should go to geoponics for some hands-on biology. Memer is almost ready to give birth, and she had trouble during her last calving, he says. You think he's talking about a float, Cal. We should volunteer to monitor around the clock and document the process. Then we can help deliver the calf.
That's a little more fun.
Tang looks disgusted. Absolutely not, she sneers. I am not getting my hands all up in some float cow's guts just because you want to play farmer instead of scientist. She pokes her finger into Cal's chest. What are your data points? What's your hypothesis? Do you have a control group? Where's the science, Cal? You aren't better than the others just because you work indoors, Cal snaps. It's so rare to see someone actually get under his skin. Every day I live and breathe biology, genetics, medicine, and ecology, just like you. Science just isn't just about doing experiments. Observation is important too. So is compassion and empathy. Tang scoffs. They both look at you. What do you want to do for your project? Well, now I'd kind of just want to do the calving just to fuck with Tang.
Yeah, Tang. Eat it.
I'm glad you see things my way, Cal says. He has the look of someone who's trying not to be smug, but isn't quite getting there.
What a smug little face. Ooh, +1. Bip, bip, bip. Ha ha ha.
I want to know what wins.
Wins?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought the locked card was... This card sets values to 1.
+1.
Yes, +1.
Let's get these 2s in.
34 in the final round. That's kind of brutal.
Especially with the 1. Like, those suck.
Yep.
90 stress to push through.
Can we log it?
Log is +2.
Could we do 111?
Yeah. Oops. God, come here. So that's 4 +3.
We only need 27 and 2 cards. That's...
We can redraw a hand.
Okay.
Better. Totally. 100%. So 8, 9, 10. Then double 3s. No. Oh, social cards. I can make this one yellow, but that's better. So then yeah, we got a lot of this. Let's just get these to match and then push through. There, we won.
Yeah.
We can just give up. It's fine.
You spend a few days observing Mimer the float cow, who is so huge and gravid that she can barely float at all. You're on watch when she goes into labor.
Like hovering at the bottom of the, like a deflated
Yeah,
birthday balloon
Yep.
full of baby.
You call Tang and Cal to the barn, then Cal gets there and safely delivers the calf. And you mean he really gets in there because the calf gets stuck at one point, and Cal has to go in up to his shoulder after it. It's gruesome and scary, but in the end, both cow and calf are alive. After another week of veterinary care and close study, you write up your report. Instance looks over it with disinterest, but even she can't find anything at fault with it. This will do, she says. Congratulations. You pass.
Hey! So we get future better rewards. It's time for our nap.
We are so stressed we're going to hurl.
Ah!
Ooh,
Ooh, there it is. Xenobotany.
cool.
Cha-cha. Ooh, an enemy.
Yeah.
Friendo, I was just gonna get out of here. You can come with me. I'm gonna play some sports ball. So much for relaxing. Nemget grabs you by the arms and marches you to the sports ball pitch, where she strikes up a game of sports ball that's not strictly regulation. Make your own rules, even roping her 3 younger brothers into playing. They're young, they kind of suck at stuff, but it's still fun.
I thought
Bouncing a sports ball off Nem's head.
I thought Anemone was the youngest child.
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to forget a card.
We don't?
Nope.
Okay.
Pollen, the best season.
Hooray. Hold this to your head now, my darling, you hear as you enter the garden looking for Cal. It'll help with the swelling. Cal is sitting with his mother, Auntie Tira, who kneels beside him holding an ice pack to his head. Cal's eyes are a little puffy. He rubs them and sniffs as you approach. Hello, Marginalia. Tira greets you with a kind smile. Don't worry, recalcitrance just took a tumble off something he really shouldn't have been climbing. Mom, Cal complains, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he do. Cal shrugs. I climbed it before and it was fine, he says, not disagreeing with you. It was slippery from the irrigation misters, that's all. Mom always knows how to make it better, he says with a boyish smile, even if I'm old enough to take care of myself. My brave boy, Tira says, stroking his hair. Thanks for humoring me. She looks over to you. Don't let him show off for you, Marginalia. Ground-based feats of bravery only for the rest of the day. Cal whines and wrinkles his nose.
Mom keeping you grounded, literally.
Tira laughs and wraps him in a big, motherly hug, rocking him back and forth. Despite his protests, Cal's eyes close in happiness. He really loves his mom.
Ah, life support engineer. Ooh, eggy.
Egg. Ooh. Hefty red Xeno egg. We are not beefy enough to help with animals.
Yeah. But we can study animals. Explore.
Hey, kiddo, your dad says, looking up from his work desk where he's dissecting a huge bell-shaped flower. Can you hand me that separator? I've really got my hands in things here. You hand him the tool, which he uses to wedge open some sort of weird stoma-like opening inside the bell. Gooey purple nectar oozes out and pools on the desk. Whoa, he exclaims. Thought I'd drain this little beauty. Can you get a towel, I guess? You help him mop up the flower juice. Yuck, it's sticky and smells like rotting vegetables. When you're done, he looks at you with pride. You know, I've been thinking of getting one of you kids to come, help me out with researching the native plants, he says. You think you might be able to break off some time to help your old man in the lab? I know you've been studying biology, he adds. It's not as glamorous as gene tech research with instance, but it is important. He grins. Let me talk to your mom about it tonight before you go telling her. She's not a fan of alien plants, you know. If it were up to her, we'd fill these greenhouses with earth plants and nothing else. But there's got to be more on this planet that we can cultivate. If you find any cool plants while you're exploring, bring them here and we can take a look at them.
Ooh.
In Alpha Centauri, they make reference to grenade fruits,
Uh-huh.
which apparently synthesize organonitrates. Nitrated compounds are things like azides, explosives.
Be gentle with the goo fruit.
Yeah, I guess when they fall, they explode, spreading their seeds.
It's like those. They're not cucumbers. They're little green and they explode. But they're real.
I don't know.
Yeah. Little green explodies. That's what we call them.
Hmm.
Let's do some flora fauna investigation.
Let's. Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora, and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with, or build with, or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're going to find out, my little potato. Boo. Oof. Excuse me. Neat.
Plants are cool, but creepy.
Yeah. Your dad directs you to a research bench, and here's where you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple lab, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you can put things into.
Stick something in a hole.
Yeah. You put one of the seedlings into a small hole in the table. A little door slides shut and then reopens. A loud burr noise startles you. Oh no, you broke it! Your dad laughs. Nah, just kidding. You're fine. Good instincts, kiddo.
Yeah, let's on.
There is no on switch. Yeah, you looked everywhere. Push
Buttons
at random. You mash all the table's buttons until, yo, kiddo. It's congruence. The ship's friendly computer beams at you from her own holoscreen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. You wonder who she got yo from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new, so don't be afraid to try stuff.
She's got cat ears.
She does. You bring your mushwood samples into the lab. You're going to study these and revolutionize the use of mushwood lumber. Maybe.
Study this mushwood!
You examine the mushwood under a microscope and take notes on its cellular structure. Part of the reason it needs to be harvested in wet is because the cells get so saturated that they lose structural integrity and turn to, well, mush during glow. Studying the exact process by which the cells take in water leads to a breakthrough. It might be possible to hack the process and stop the mushwood trees from taking on too much water during wet. If they don't take as much water, they won't take as long to dry. You should be able to develop a spray that the loggers can apply to the fruiting body of the mushwood, the part that sticks out above the ground, to close its pores. Reducing negative pressure in the body should stop it from pulling in so much water from the mycelial network underground. This is great. Logging will be much more efficient now.
Yay, we helped!
We did. Goal 16, huh?
2, 2, 3, 3, 4.
Your dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the whale. Whether he's under the whale.
Dude, you look under the whale.
Man, I got under the whale last night. It was rough. He's pale with deep circles under his eyes and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just some pollen in the air. It's gunking up the old air tubes. You remember hay fever, Flulu? We always got it back on Earth, too. Your mom frowns and crosses her arms. We did, she agrees. So why isn't it bothering me? You're a lot tougher than me, Sweet Pea, your dad says, and your mom rolls her eyes. I'm sure I have to get used to it like you did, he continues. Maybe I'll go for a stroll outside the gates later, really get a good lungful of the stuff. I'll feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside the gates? You? Your dad shrugs, then he falls into a fit of sneezing and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie down on their bed. You need to rest, not machismo, she scolds him. I don't have much... Your dad sneezes. A macho bone in my body, Fufu, and I have to fertilize the corn and pixie beans this week. Uh-huh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it a few times. Big, yelling honk sneezes that echo through your whole quarters. He pulls it away from your face, and you can tell that something's wrong. Huh, your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. Then his eyes roll back in his head, his knees buckle, and your mom yells for you to call Instance. Chief Engineer Instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over, but she seems satisfied with what she sees without having to do a thorough examination. The explorers have started calling this the shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. He's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environmental toxin, likely in the pollen fog. Will he be okay? It doesn't seem to cause long-term damage to the body, Instance explains. She gestures in the air, making notes on her hollow eye that only she can see. I've been tracking its effects for 3 seasons now. The toxin is flushed out of the body after 3 to 5 days, and it's not contagious. She looks down at your father. What that means for you, Geranium, since you're particularly susceptible to the toxin, you should be taking better pains to avoid exposure. If you go outside during pollen, use a respirator. I really enjoy that because the arts, there's no animation in these. The artists had to you have to convey a lot about characters in one frame,
like one pose.
Yeah. So our dad has kind of very loose body language.
Yeah.
And Instance has a headache.
All the time.
Instance has had a headache since she's been 12.
Yep.
And it's because you're stupid.
Mostly.
There's always been somebody stupid in her life giving her a headache. Yeah, Instance has lower back pain from carrying the colony. As your literal boss, I'm ordering you not to come into work for the rest of the week, she says. You're on strict bed rest. She leans in to touch her forehead to his. They stay like that, smiling with relief. And I mean, this is a colony where people just die.
Yeah.
Right? Your father suddenly developing a weird illness?
Yeah.
Maybe he could have just died.
He could just die.
Even after 1 day of bed rest, your dad is looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back out into the fields. Onto the fields. Into the fields?
Around the fields.
You're gonna love this new crop marginalia. It's called a pixie bean. They glow in the dark. He's already pulling on his boots. The fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we finally found something we could actually grow here that isn't soy. Soy and more soy.
Yay. Even more pollen. Oh, dang.
Your holopalm pulses with a message from Tang. Hello, Marginalia. If you're not occupied, could I ask you for assistance in the lab? Thank you in advance. Tangent.
Since you were my main competitor in the science fair, I'm coming to you to ask for help, even though I know you're dumb as a bag of bricks.
Yeah. If you're not too busy rummaging around in the dirt. Typical Tang, but asking for help is something so rare that you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on a holoscreen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days, wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the wild-eyed look of someone who needs a cup of blep tea.
How can I help?
I'm researching the shimmer, the respiratory illness some people report during pollen, she says. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes 4 vials with swabs inside and puts them into your hands. I need recent saliva samples from both you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so susceptible to the shimmer and you're not. You share half your genetic code with him. There must be some marker we can compare the 2 samples. Then, she continues, pulling another vial from a rack of test tubes. Administer this to yourselves. Wait 3 days and take the samples again. This test should be able to determine if anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tang looks at you very seriously, cutting through her bleary expression. There's something going on here, she whispers. Something really, really big. I've begun to realize this is about more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts. Unlocking the secrets of the shimmer, who it affects and why, could lead to a greater understanding of all of life on Vertumna. And knowledge. Knowledge is more than power, Marchnalia. It's control.
Okay.
Thank you, Tang says. I've been researching so hard I think my eyes are going to fall out of my head. And for what? Well, the end of a debilitating disease is a pretty good reason, but Tang just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we're going to get it under our control. I realize that also, as children, we have idle time.
Yeah.
Right? We choose our own curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Your dad sneezes and wipes the notebook.
I was just checking to see if there was an extra follow-up to Tang's conversation. There wasn't. So we can study more?
Yeah, we've got virtually no stress.
Head outside.
We could head outside.
Yeah. There's more stuff to do out here.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a menu.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Some farmland has spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they're doing very well. Nobody's around right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. Nothing's growing here anymore. There isn't even enough for animals to graze on.
I plant thing.
Yeah. You're just a kid playing at being a farmer. You mess around for a few hours, planting some things that look like seeds, but it's unlikely any of them will actually grow here.
Sorry.
Space turnip.
I wonder if it's just going to give us the same events.
Yeah. Geoponics engineers have set up a worksite here using the roboplow to tear up the ground and prep it for farming. You don't want them to see you. They'll send you home for sure.
Sneaky. 1, 2, 3. Wish the 5 didn't have a bonus on it. Or I guess that doesn't change the face number?
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be 5, 5, and then 5.
Hey, it is. It is a pair. So I'll put this one on the end so that I can,
Yeah, get a... Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, so...
And then we're just styling
Gravy! 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 Gravy!
Sneaks so good. You skulk under the trees at the edge of their operation. The loud grinding of the roboplow hides any noise you might have made. You come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still pretty big. It might be good to harvest them before they get all gross and mushy during rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them.
There. Nice mush tree.
You like the mush trees. You give one a pat and are surprised when it moves under your hand. It's not the tree though, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks a little like an octopus or a starfish. Lots of long legs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug.
Yeah.
You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blobgrass. Totally transparent, the sticky fronds are hard to see but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming onto your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of this blobgrass field.
Sorry.
You have to do like 1, 2, 3?
Yep.
Yeah, like
just regular 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
Match the colors too. Ooh. Yeah. That is a very good float cloud. 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yeah, doesn't matter. Does not matter. I'm taking the extra amount of stress.
Yeah, I like playing that card whenever we have the option to.
Yeah.
Just like free stress relief. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log, then climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You get through the villainous blobgrass. You spend a bunch of time on it though, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring.
Unisaur.
You walk into a clearing and immediately stop in your tracks. There's a Unisaur here. You've seen them before, but they still fill you with a sense of awe.
Eat snacks.
You take a break and pull some snacks from your pack. The Unisaur's ears twitch back and forth, and it swivels its head to look directly at you. There's a tense moment where you're not sure if you're supposed to run or stay still. Eventually, the Unisaur turns tail and bounds out of the clearing. Aww. A stream cuts through the path here. There must usually be stepping stones across it, but the water's too high to cross safely.
Bravely jump.
So brave.
Oh. So brave. Look at how brave we were. Ah!
Oh.
Hey!
Hey.
I'm mostly just out here for the pickup items.
You stop for lunch eating an earth treat grown from your own greenhouse. A watermelon, nice and sweet, like a more solid potato pod. You munch away, spitting out the seeds.
Spit.
You take the challenge seriously, lining up targets and keeping score. Your aim improves.
Soon we'll be ready for gun.
You come across a float cow that seems to be ill. She's floating upside down a meter off the ground, kicking her segmented legs into the air periodically as though trying to right herself. Her slitted eyes look to you imploringly. She makes a helpless lowing noise and tries to flip over, but her ratio of gas to liquid must be unbalanced. You take a closer look at the float cow. You've heard they float using a certain ratio of liquid to gas in their membranous bladders, so after some consideration you figure out that the bladder on her back must be too full of liquid.
So we still need more animals, but we didn't last week we had the option to.
I hate the idea of popping the float cow. The poor thing, it wants help.
It's blocking our path forward. Let's go see this Hawkeye. Fight me. Two. All threes.
Yeah.
Tis the threeson.
Well, we could do,
It don't matter.
This might have been a challenge when we were 10, but now we're 12.
Yeah.
The Hawkeyes are wary at first, but you crouch down and copy their cute little squeaky noises. You bounce towards them, and amazingly, they don't hop away. You play with the Hop-Eyes for a few minutes before moving on. Cute little guys.
Ah, they've accepted us as one of them. Yay.
You come to a bend in the path. As you come to a bend in the path, movement catches the corner of your eye. There's something up on top of a nearby mushroom-capped tree. You can't tell quite what it is, but is that a person? Someone is peering over the edge of the mushroom cap above you. You can't quite see their eyes, but you get an impression of long dark hair and an enormous mocking grin. I wouldn't go that way if I were you, they warn playfully. They have a deep musical accent you don't recognize. A stranger? That's impossible. You're the only people around for thousands of light years. And what the heck is he doing out here? You feel a chill go up your spine.
So this is Sim. We haven't met him yet.
Oh, okay. Find another way.
But what if I don't? What if I don't want to? Come on, more path.
You're minding your own business when you stumble into... This low valley has collected a lot of that thick pollen. You cough and try to push your way through it, but it's pollen all the way down. Surveyors get nice helmets with built-in masks, but yours is just a cheap one. At least the pollen isn't too thick here. All red threes?
Yeah. And then anything goes.
Blech. This pollen makes your face itch. It makes it all the better when you find a route to higher ground and come out of the worst of it. You're too worn out and tired to continue. You have to go home now.
Yay.
No.
You're back. Well, time for a nap.
Mm-hmm. I assume different things happen in different seasons?
Different zones, more or less. But yeah, I think different seasons have different events.
Okay.
So we can hang out on the wall or go to the lounge.
Well, we haven't done the wall yet.
Yeah.
After the first attack on the colony, they added lookout towers to the walls. Now you have a place to hang out if you don't feel like working, and because it's all the way up here, no adults are going to come to ask you to run any errands for them. On rainy days, you take shelter under the pavilions and listen to the pitter-patter of warm raindrops on the grass roof. You can do whatever you want. This is the life.
Perfect place to slack off.
It's the perfect place to catch up on holovids you've been meaning to watch and to chat with your friends on this colony's social media. Oh, hey, Marginalia. Dis pops his head up a nearby ladder and looks surprised to see someone else here. Do you mind if I sit here too?
Sure, plenty of room. Pop a squat.
I like that Dis is the smelly kid. Did we decide that we were the sticky kid, or is that Anemone?
That's an enemy. Or Nugget. Later.
The two...
Oops, sorry. We're just hanging out. We don't need no ones.
Yeah.
Learning? Ugh. Growing? Ugh. Aw. Where'd Disco? There he is.
You slip through the colony gates, feeling the breeze from the mushroom forest ruffle your hair. You look around for Dis, but he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he went to class today. Probably not. As you're about to return to the colony, you hear what sounds like crying from one of the expedition vehicles. You pull back the tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores and find Dis curled up in the cabin. He wipes his eyes and turns away. Go away, he mutters.
What's up, crybaby?
Just pull him out and start, just giving him shots.
Yep. Hey, Stinky.
I'm fine, Dis sniffles. Just leave me alone.
Want to talk about it?
Why don't you go ask my sister, he mumbles. Tang is so mature, she knows everything. I'm just a sensitive little crybaby who doesn't know anything. Dis wraps his arms around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everyone thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone.
Tang, what did you do? Tang. Well.
So who likes what? Oh, there's a thing on the ground.
A yellow flower. Mars likes those.
Okay.
He likes eggs. And
Right.
bobber fruit.
Nem seems like the kind of kid who would like a log. I don't know why.
It's for throwing.
Yeah, for throwing.
Yeah. But I want to see if we have any extra stuff that we can study. That's why I went and picked up plants.
Congruence tells you about how, back on Earth, some people were scared of genetically modified food. They thought it was unsafe. You ponder that for a second. Everything you eat, even everything you wear, has been genetically modified. You are genetically modified. How could people be scared of gene tech? It's the reason you're still alive on this planet.
Huh. Silly old Earth people.
Just press 2 a bunch.
Just press 2 to win. Just get behind them and press R2.
It's time for the 3rd annual Verdonalia Festival. You gather with your family in the colony square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Udicott approaches the stage. She folds her hand and serenely addresses the crowd. What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor, she says, looking as pleased as she ever does. In under 3 years, we've built a colony of which we can truly be proud. While we've suffered hardship and losses, we remain standing. As always, looking towards the future we are building together. Let us use this midsummer festival as a time to reflect on our many blessings, Udicott continues. Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and a strong community. Udicott bows her head. But first, let us remember Professor Halitosis,
Who had an unfortunate name. Maybe his death wasn't an accident.
Maybe he just died of having manky breath. Maybe he just stank himself to death.
Chief Engineer Instance will be filling in. Her breath is fresh and pleasant. We also recognize the passing of our dear friend, Chief Surveyor Melatonin. Known for his gentle nature, curious spirit, and dark skin. Conan joins his daughter, Aspartame, and his partner, Lavandula, in the world of our memories. A real place where we all go when we die.
I thought, for some reason that... Oh no, it's, Nem is, Antecedent's daughter. Or Antecedent is Nem's mother. I thought Tammy and Tonin were family with Antecedent.
Aspartame,
yeah. Udicott invites the rest of the council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance.
Harumph.
When the applause dies down and the council sits, Utopia remains standing. Actually, Auntie Udicott, you mind if I make a quick announcement? Udicott nods and Utopia clears her throat. I just wanted to say thanks to y'all who are trusting me with this job, she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. A cheer rises from Expeditions, and she motions for them to quiet down. Uncle Tonan's left some big shoes to fill, and, well, I'm going to give it my best.
Even though his shoes are very, very large, like clown-sized.
We're fixing to get to the bottom of what we're calling the shimmer, the sniffles folks have been getting during pollen, Utopia continues. Until we do, please keep on wearing your masks when the pollen is thick, and let the doc know if you're under the weather. She bends down to hug the governor as she leaves the stage. Thank you, Utopia, Udicott says warmly, and thank you to the rest of the colony for their service. Live music starts playing and Unicott smiles. And now, it's time for games and feasting. Oh,
We're too stupid for the science
no!
fair!
No!
Our one thing!
Oh.
Fine. Robots.
We'll beat up a robot since we're too stupid to compete with Tang anymore. Com keeps adding complexity to his bot wrestling game. Last year it was the hollow obstacle course, and this year there's an accuracy challenge. Sink 3 baskets and you can move on to the next stage, Com says, unveiling something with a flourish. A vacuubot with a basket tied to its head. It chirps as it stomps back and forth and the crowd cheers. You're competing against Nem and Cal. You notice they're not racing around together. Cal is playing with the vacuubot and Nem is standing next to her brother. You're up first. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oops.
5 and 3.
I guess it's locked in the slot. I guess there's nothing we can do about that. Oh no. Our highest value card. Does this work? No. But what if?
You thought the accuracy portion would be harder. Those vacuubots can be fast when they're on a mission. This one seems to get bored waiting for you to complete the obstacle course, so by the time you line up to take your shots with the sports ball, it stopped running around and is taken to carefully vacuuming the dirt under its feet. You easily sink your baskets and move on to the wrestling competition and win by a huge margin. Nem pouts and stomps over to Com, yelling that it wasn't fair that you got it easy. She refuses to speak to you until Com sits you both down and makes you shake hands, pointing out that Nem also got hit by 5 hollow obstacles and couldn't have won anyway. Nem begrudgingly accepts your win. After the festivities, you take time off for a much-needed, very relaxing break. Your dad sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs and spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun. You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust suns.
And every single rock that's under the slip and slide, or tree roots.
Yep.
Or several people fell off the slip and slide and got sand and pine needles jammed into their exposed skin.
Yep.
Yep. Everyone slip and slowed once.
Yep. More like sand and slide. It's like taking a run down a belt sander. Scrape and slide. Nem and Nougat are kicking up a huge cloud of dust outside the garrison, passing a sports ball back and forth and chasing each other around. Nem looks up as you approach and flails excitedly at you. Marginalia, hey, she says, jumping up and down. Look. She bounces the sports ball on her knees. Look at what Nougat and me are practicing.
This is the sticky kid.
Gotcha. Nem bounces the sports ball from one knee to the other a few times before launching it up into the air. She crouches, leaps up after it, and spikes it with her head towards Nougat with a yell. The sports ball thuds into Nougat's chest, sending her sprawling to the dirt. For a second, you freeze, waiting for the crying to start. Instead, Nougat shrieks and laughs, clutching the ball as Nem jumps up and down and pumps her fist dramatically. 4 points for the ball not touching the ground after contact, Nem crowds. The crowd goes wild, the Garrison Galaxies win again! Woo! Nougat cups her hands over her mouth, imitating the roar of a crowd.
Awesome!
I know, right? Nem beams. She stands up straighter and puts her hands on her hips. I'm gonna be just as good as my big bro someday, and Nougat will too. She rubs the back of her hands across her nose, leaving a smear of dirt. Hey, you could come by the sports ball pitch sometime. I can show you some tricks. Nem and Nougat look at you expectantly.
Okay.
Yeah. I like how Nougat's hair band looks like a plant.
Yep.
Me too, Nougat yells from where she's still lying on the ground. She picks herself up and carefully puts the ball down in front of her, then kicks it to Anemone. Did you see that? Nem laughs. She kicked the ball with her foot. Nougat's a natural. She's already inventing new ways to play sports ball. Future coach Nougat. Nougat puts her hands on her tiny hips. If you come to practice, you gotta play, she challenges, pointing at you. Nemi says I get to be coach, so it's my rules. You and Nem both burst out laughing. Nougat is such a little character. So she's what, like 6?
Yeah. Play sports ball. We did it. Light dust. Alright. More xenobiology.
Oh, maybe before this we should take a break.
We should take a break. So we'll be back after some ads. Enjoy the ads.
See you shortly, everyone.
We're back.
We are.
We have snacks.
We do.
Small, candy-coated snacks.
They're chocolate circles covered with candy.
Colorful. For children.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Squirt, your mom calls out to you. Don't you think it's time you started thinking about what you're going to do when you're older? Stop asking me. Look at her confusion. Isn't she always telling you to stay in school? She chuckles. You gotta think about it sometime, kid. How about you come join your folks on the farm? If you think you're up to it. I'm ready. Your mom claps you on the back. Oof! She's just as strong as she looks. Great, she says. Come to see me in geoponics. It'll be more fun than wheeling dirt around, I promise. So now we can actually do farming. But first, gotta hit 19. Heck. Extra kudos. Means more cake for me. That was actually a huge chunk.
Yeah, that was 40 kudos.
Yeah, Balber fruit. Alright. So we gotta get our reasoning up if we want to do science fair ever again.
Right. So school or... No, wait. School is where we get reasoning.
Or the
Messaging?
depot, I think. Deliver supplies is not. That's organization. I think
Yeah.
the other job is also. Alright, reasoning.
What does humanity do?
I don't know. I don't
Not
know.
what we're looking for.
Let's see what farming gets us. Biology and toughness. Our biology's great.
Yeah.
Let's farm. Let's farm it out.
Okay. It's a proud day for your mom. You're finally following in her footsteps. She meets you at the gates to the garden. Hello, Sprout, she says, sounding chipper. Come on, we've got a lot to cover before you're able to keep up with the rest of us. Finally, some real farming. Finally. Yeah! Your mom shows you around the fields and the geoponics domes. You'll mostly be working in the fields with the hardier earth crops like the potatoes and corn, as well as the native plants we've managed to cultivate. She frowns. We'll figure out how to cultivate these native plants somehow. You spend the rest of the day pulling weeds and watering plants. You're dirty up to your waist by the time you're finished, but it's good, honest work. You're proud to be able to do something that helps out the colony. Cal gives you a high five and invites you for a cool drink in the cafeteria. All the other agriculturists join you. Of all the places in the colony you've worked, geoponics is the most like a family. Maybe because they've always been your family, thanks to your mom and dad.
We're helping.
Yeah.
We're in the club now. Let's load the 5s at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Water. We're doing great stress-wise.
We're close to a bubble in... Well, combat is kind of close, reasoning is kind of close, empathy is closer, though. Is there any way we can build empathy?
I don't think with the... What does humanity get us?
I think creativity and persuasion?
Yeah. Yeah. Xenobotany. You're helping your mom repair the garden fence when you see Cal slip away into the barn carrying a blanket. You excuse yourself and follow him. Does he still have that weird pet bug? He does, in fact, have the weird pet bug. Cal looks up at you and smiles, cradling Socks in his arms and rocking her back and forth. The little nubs on her butt seem like they're getting longer. She must be growing. I made her a little bed in that trunk over there, he says. She mostly just likes to be curled up in the dark. She sleeps a lot. Socks chirps and Cal sits on the floor, letting her curl up in his lap. I've been coming in early every morning and staying late every day so she can play in the sun, he explains. That's when she's most active, but her favorite thing is laying on my lap for belly rubs. He tickles her soft tummy. Isn't that right, Socks? Who's a good dilly pillar? You are. You are. Socks trills in delight. Do you want to feed her? Cal asks. I collected a bunch of leaves for her. Here, take one. You kneel down beside them and take one of the leaves. Socks trundles from Cal's lap into your cupped hands and gingerly holds the leaf between her two front paws. She's like a tiny dinosaur caterpillar. Munch, munch, munch. Ouch! Teeth!
Just pick up Socks by the things on her butt.
We're tough. We're tough animal. You pretend like it doesn't hurt at all, but it super hurts. Try not to cry. Cry a lot. When she's done, Cal puts her gently back in the box. Then he notices your hand and gasps, Marginalia! You're hurt!
No, I'm fine.
Cal looks over your finger, which is bleeding sluggishly from the shallow puncture wounds. I learned first aid from my mom. Let's just wrap it up and tell people you banged it on a door, okay? And if you tell them otherwise, you'll fall down the stairs. If people think she's dangerous, they'll take her away. She's not dangerous. It was just an accident. You had your tasty fingers near her mouth hole.
Tell them it was an accident.
Cal brushes his hand over the loose dirt and straw on the barn floor. My mom says aliens here are dangerous. I asked, like, in theory, if I found an alien, could I keep it as a pet? But she said I can't, even if it's a nice alien, because of diseases and stuff. He says, Socks isn't sick, he insists. And she doesn't mean to hurt anybody. The other animals probably don't either.
She tried to eat us.
Tried to eat us. 20. Late wet. We're doing good stress-wise. Ba-da-ba-da.
School?
School. Life sciences. Tangent stops you on the way to class. Marginalia, where are you headed to life sciences? Good, I could use your help with something, actually. I'm working with Chief Engineer Instance in the biolab. If you give me a hand with it, I'm sure she'll give you credit for the class. Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, admits Tang, we just need somebody to label petri dishes and move from the cooler to different machines. A Hopeye could do it. Could say you're slightly smarter or more gooder looking than a weird animal with big eyes. Instance is staring unfocused at her hollow eye as she processes the results of the scans. Tang goes and stands behind her, pulling up the scan on her own holopalm. They confer quietly while you wait. Sounds like they're studying the shimmer, the mysterious illness some colonists get during the pollen every year, including your dad. Instance looks up at you and as if just noticing your existence. Ah, marginalia, she says. We've been studying samples from some of the colonists who get sick during pollen, including your dad. Some of the stuff is in his lungs. It's some kind of fungus. It's great to have in your lungs.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
We think the shimmer is a form of reproduction, Tang explains. It's like a fungus trying to turn us into more fungus like it. It's pretty neat, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, neat.
You spend most of the week helping them study the illness. Mostly this involves following instructions and doing as Tang loves to repeat. Jobs a Hopeye could do. Nothing beats hands-on experience, though. This would be easier if we had an actual sample of the fungus, Instance remarks. They're working with some biological samples, a fancy word for snot. But according to them, the fungus is all mixed in with human cells. Instance has to spend a lot of time in vert space trying to disconnect the two from her models. Where could I find a sample? Our most useful reports have been from foragers returning from the Valley of Vertigo, where the pollen is thick all year. That might be a good place to start. Valley of Vertigo.
Is Tangent the only character who isn't looking at us in her portrait?
I mean, the portraits have different expressions. This is not only one portrait per character.
But, like, there is kind of a default one.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's always on her computer.
Yeah. It's
always on her phone.
It's an art choice, right?
Never gonna win.
Yay! I mean, we could do 3, 4, 5. Or, yeah, no, this is good too.
Ha! Shiny, shiny. Oh, that's Mars's augment. She is shameless.
Oh.
She does not experience shame.
Huh. Interesting.
Farm?
Sure. There are only a few glowing plants in the garden, so in the dark of glow you have a lot of outdoor work by lamplight. In the eerie not light, fertile earth dirt looks the same as Vertumnan dirt. It's so hard to see what you're doing.
Work, work, work. Work, 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 work. Work.
Two data points form a line, but 3 is a pattern. The colony has been on high alert all glow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a 3rd year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different, they say, and new tracks that must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. You're in engineering when you hear the sirens ring through the colony. You cover your ears against the noise and make your way to the nearby classroom. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe there. But it wasn't so safe last year for Professor Hal. What if another creature gets in? Congruence, the new teacher, is just a face on a computer screen. She can't protect anyone. Congruence flickers cheerfully. Please stay calm, children, she says. The defense squad is already en route to the creatures. This should all be over soon. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice.
Oh, what's that, Congruence? You're breaking up.
Out we go! You stand up and leave. Tang and Mars stare at you like you have 3 heads. Congruence doesn't try to stop you, not that she could. She doesn't even have any hands.
Huh.
You slow to a walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear the metallic popping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts? Your blood goes cold. Monsters. They're here. You follow the sounds to a workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats of the vent. You gasp. You gasp. 2 glistening, bug-like eyes peer down at you. No, 4. 6? They blink in syncopated pairs. You hear it over the sirens, a soft pinging noise, halfway between a chirp and a purr. The creature skitters spider-like from one side of the vent to the other. A small furry tentacle slithers through the slats, searching for the vent release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal.
I've never done this. Tame it. Ooh.
Wow, 42. We could do... Yeah, 2. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. 1... No, we can't.
1, 3... 3...
5?
5?
For a straight? Yeah, 8 next turn is easy.
Totally doable. All right.
Holy sheep shit. You win it over by reading its body language and slowly building trust. It seems to want to join you, and you hope you'll be allowed to keep it. Vricky? You look at the species up on your holopalm and learn that Vricky, so named for the trills they make, which yours is making now cuddling against your leg, are neither male nor female, though they do require a mate to reproduce. So it's a they then. You decide to name them... Squidly Peterson.
Ricky Tiki?
I guess, yeah.
Kiki Jiki?
I like Squidly Peterson. They blink every one of their beady black eyes up at you, none of them in unison. They seem to have no problem with this name.
Perfect.
It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short pulses as the all-clear message flashes on your holopalm. You and the other children file out of engineering, and you head back to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. You manage to smuggle your new pet Vricky under your jacket and hide it under your bed before they arrive. Just put you under the mattress!
Your family like piles onto the bed. There's just like a squish.
Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps into a seat at your small table. It's like they were going specifically for your geoponics this time, she mutters, but your dad pets your hair and shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck, Flulabelle, he says, but your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring at the portal at the fields.
Ah. Ah.
Ah! Oh my god!
Oh,
yes!
It's with us! Oh, it's with us!
What was the test? Animals?
Animals. Oh! I think it goes in our collectibles gear. Equipped pets on.
+1 skill on challenge win.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
We're equipping Vricky.
We just skill up? Additionally?
More skills.
More skills.
Hey Cal, check out our new friend.
You catch Cal at the gates to the gardens. He's carrying a big bucket of rocks. Hi, Marginalia, he exclaims. He pauses to pat your pet on the head. And hello to you too, Squidly Peterson. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you that there's a new park near Geoponics now, Cal says. We can run around all we want and nobody will say we're trampling the fields. You should come play there sometime. And bring Squidly Peterson, they'll love it.
squiddy hover tank.
Yeah. Tangent is standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes land on her cheeks. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute, she winces and rubs her eyes. It stings, she says, because it's made of acid.
Ah, run away from the acid snow!
Tang shakes her head at you as you scamper under cover and goes back to watching the snow. You spot Dis in the shaded gloom of a nearby awning. When he sees you looking, he furtively hides his hands behind his back. As your eyes adjust, you spot the almost luminescent gaze of a hawkeye peering out from under a tarp. I wasn't doing anything, Dis says. The scattering of corn kernels at his feet tells a different story. Okay, I was just worried that the hawkeyes were getting used to eating human food, he admits. He kneels down and extends his hand, and the hawkeye blinks all 4 eyes at you with mistrust. Tang would kill me if she saw me doing this, Dis mutters. She'd probably be like, oh, we should observe what effect our presence has on the local wildlife, you know? This is the effect we're having on them, he continues. Tang doesn't get that you can't watch something without changing it. She thinks she's so smart, but she doesn't think she has a responsibility to do the right thing. Dis looks at the ground. We used to be bros, he says quietly. Now I don't even understand her at all.
What to do? Botany. Botany will save us. Or do we want to do biology and see if we can help Instance and... Wait, maybe we can go on expeditions. Maybe we're old enough.
Yeah. We're 13 now. You step... Okay. No.
Dinger! Never been old enough. Trust me, I'll go outside.
You see a notice on the engineering holoweb. Chief Engineer Instance needs someone to help with after-school tutoring. Literally anyone who isn't a complete idiot will do because she's desperate. Please apply.
Applying's not going to hurt us.
Yeah. You tell Dr. Instance you're interested in the job. She looks up from her holopalm like she's just noticed you exist. Yeah, you'll do, she says, nodding. The younger, slower kids have trouble keeping up with congruence sometimes. You mostly just have to pat them on the back now and then and stop them from wandering off when they're supposed to be studying. No offense, but anyone with a pulse could do it. You wait for further instruction. Instance sighs, shooing you away dismissively. You know where the classrooms are. Just come when you're not doing whatever nonsense teenagers do here.
Go to school.
Quite.
Big number.
Anyone can do this. Therefore, the fact that you did well at it is not something I need to be congratulatory for.
Mom? No. Okay. You wake to the sound of your parents arguing in hushed tones, clearly trying not to disturb you. You blink away the sleep from your eyes, eventually remembering, wait, isn't today your 13th birthday? Where's your birthday cuddles? Your parents always make a big deal about your birthday. You peek out through the privacy curtains on your bunk and listen in on their argument. You're being unreasonable, your mom says. Marginally as a teenager now, you have to give them the opportunity to take calculated risks or they'll start acting out. That's just what being a teenager is. Going off into the wilderness isn't a calculated risk, your dad replies. It's too dangerous. It's weird to hear your parents arguing. If they ever disagree, they sort it out quietly or go to mediation. Mediation. This time, it sounds like they're really upset. It's unsettling. I think I should.
Or you don't need to?
You don't need to.
I've already gone out.
Squidly Peterson will help me.
Dis and I go camping all the time and you haven't noticed.
You don't need to.
They glance at you. Your mom holds up her hand to silence you and goes right back to talking. Geranium, she grates. You've said it yourself that we need every person out there surveying for edible native plants. You're even going yourself. Why not our child? Your dad flails his hand helplessly. Because, Flulu, they're our child. It's our responsibility to keep them safe. You're not keeping anyone safe by coddling them, your mom almost shouts, and your dad flinches in shock. Marginalia's survival depends on them understanding this planet we're living on, so you're not doing them or the colony any favors by pretending that's not the case.
Shut your mouths!
I can take care of myself. You're brave, but you aren't stupid. You assure them that you'll stay out of trouble. Your dad's shoulders sag as he shakes his head. You barely even know what's out there, kiddo, he mutters.
Yeah, what could possibly be out there?
Your mom's fierce expression softens. Hey, Marginalia, sorry, it's your birthday today, and here we are arguing like a pair of assholes. Happy birth... Do assholes argue?
I mean... Isn't, like, negligence an asshole behavior?
I guess so. We meant to order up from the canteen and have your usual birthday breakfast, but we got to talking about how Utopia has opened up positions and expeditions for kids 13 and older, and, well, that's you now.
Yay!
I suppose we'll have to let you spread your wings someday, your dad relents. I just feel better knowing you were safe here inside the colony walls. He gives your mom a faint smile. We decided early on to let you choose your own path in life, so if you want to join expeditions, we're behind you. Just be safe.
Okay, so we gotta get our stress down so we can spend as much time as humanly possible outside.
Excuse me?
You're relaxing after hours when Antecedent pops her head into the lounge. The kitchen, she announces in an artificially sweet voice, is looking for someone to help with part-time cooking duties. Someone young, someone responsible, someone organized, someone who might have too much free time on their hands. Look away. Sweating away over humid food nanoprinters isn't really your thing, so you hang back. Antecedent sighs and rubs her hands on her apron. Well, if anyone changes their mind, I could use the help.
Just avoiding eye contact is great.
Oh, these are fine.
Yeah, I like those.
Okay, what's the place we had to get the sample for the sugar?
I'll know it when we look at the map.
Okay, map.
Valley
of
Vertigo.
Vertigo. So, Valley of Vertigo is a low-lying trench to the east that's dense with pollen-producing trees. There's a wide variety of edible food here, both plant and animal product, leading to some of the explorers calling this the place the breadbasket of Rotumna. There's a number of animals here that geoponics would be interested in domesticating.
Okay, well, I guess we head east? Or survey the plains?
I guess. We'll have to do this and then we'll get access to more areas. When you boarded the expedition's autobus this morning, you didn't know what to expect. It trundled you and the other surveyors a few clicks north to the Prosaic Plains, a high, flat area with cooler weather than your colony. You could barely control your excitement as you watched the landscape change. Now you're here. You're finally old enough for a real survey mission away from the colony. You greet Chief Surveyor Utopia at the depot. This here is a cutter. Blah. It's a gun. It's a tool for cutting and heating things. You can use it to make a fire, cauterize a wound, boil water, and it cuts some materials pretty alright. You can use it for self-defense too, but don't suggest it. Cool. Fire. She laughs. Cool. Cool it, sweets. This is a quiet area, and what we're doing, we're not supposed to be in danger. We're just going to be taking notes and pictures, keeping track of all the flora and fauna we see. Just don't touch anything unless I ask you to take a sample. Everything is potentially dangerous. We don't know much about what's out there, which is why we need surveyors, even young'uns like you. The Prosaic Plains is a sparse region. Like you can assume from the name, you can see things from a long way off. Utopia sees you squinting at the horizon. What are you going to do if you see something coming for you?
The correct answer is to avoid it. Do we lie to her?
Pet!
I'm going to hope you were joking.
We got more animal skills. This joins you. He must have come from an earlier autobus, or he was here the whole time. Ah, good you're here, Utopia says, digging at another plas cutter for Dis. You two greenhorns are with me for the foreseeable. Now, we don't get to sniff each other's butts all the time out there, but I do expect you all be in yelling distance. Comms can get spotty out here. You and Dis share knowing glances. You've both been sneaking out to explore long before you were officially allowed to. Utopia also hands you a surveying drone and shows you how to launch it. It'll automatically perform local scans wherever you go, though detailed scans still need to be done manually. When you return here to the depot, it'll upload its findings to the holonet. Your job is to cover ground, see what's out there, and so long as it isn't dangerous, record it. She slaps you on the back. All right, team, don't get yourselves killed out there, okay?
All right.
Come with me, Squidly. We's exploring. It's a cloudy day. You hear the crash of thunder from somewhere nearby. Loud. Sounds like it's getting closer. Suddenly, a massive, impossibly tall something punctures the low clouds and slams into the ground ahead of you. It's tall as a skyscraper and a meter wide, covered with chitinous bone like an insect. You think it might be a leggy? Another crashes down, then another. The creature's body must be up in the clouds, so high you can't see anything but the legs.
Neat.
The first leg lifts again and moves towards you. You're still in shock. Your body simultaneously screams at you to stand still and run.
What does it want?
Wait.
Like, what was the test to 50? Oh.
Our poor eyes. We're only 5 off?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Run! You can sense a shadow descending from above you. Something suddenly hits you from your left and you're flung sideways off your feet. All your ribs break. A moment later, one of the massive legs slams down right where you'd been. Another second, you'd have been flat as the grass underneath it. You look up to what hit you, but it, or they, is already gone, having saved your life. It was Squidly. Hey, Marginalia, Dis greets you cautiously as you pass on the narrow path. Hey, do you want me to show you something? Dis almost never makes overtures of friendship. Whatever it is, it must be pretty cool. Yes, you always find the coolest stuff. You follow him for nearly half an hour. A couple of times he stops to listen for something, then continues onward, tromping through the fields of broad-topped mush trees and swaying antler ferns. After a while, you start to wonder if he's just lost. You're about to say something about it when he holds his hand up for silence and directs you to crawl under a huge mushroom. On the other side, you have a view down to one of the perfectly round ponds. Taking up most of it is an enormous xeno, its legs deep underwater. It's a balneal, Dis tells you. They live in the swamps. You don't usually see them here. This one seems totally at home. It dips its long neck and even longer mouth into the pond, sucking up water from the bottom and spewing it out of the spout on the back of its head. It's like a jet ski. A spray of beautiful turquoise water sparkles in the sun. Tiny, colorful, bird-like creatures dart around it, catching the tiny fish that come spraying out. What's it doing? I think it's eating the mud, Dis says, or something really, really tiny in it. You watch for a while. It sure eats a lot, he adds.
Cool.
A series of small circular pools chain together to form an impassable body of water. You don't see an obvious route through, though the path continues off in the distance on the other side. Go across. Big number.
Mm-hmm.
Big number. Big number.
We could do 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, because it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 4.
Oh, you want that 4?
Or no, isn't this supposed to be at? Oh, it's only so put a 3 there. No, there, and then put the 1 here.
That one?
Yes. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's a narrow place where 2 pools meet that you think you can leap over. These little ponds look too small to house anything really dangerous, you hope. You approach the water's edge and die. Leap of faith. You make it over the narrow gap. Nice. You feel empowered. Squidly's there to protect us, though.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. Aha! You're crossing a clearing when you hear a terrible cracking, pounding sound. A massive creature bursts through the trees. A boulder with arms. A bush growing out of its back. A bush bub! Utopia has mentioned these before. Part animal, part vegetable, part mineral. These usually gentle giants camouflage themselves as part of the forest. Stand still. Big. 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 Big.
We could put Dis's card in the first slot. Then
3, 1.
Yeah.
0, 1, 4, 5, 1.
Or what about 3, 4, 5? Didn't we have a 3, 4, 5?
Kinda. 3, 4, 5. Perfect. The creature pounds past you, its powerful stone-like gorilla arms smashing the ground. It doesn't even seem to see you and goes around you without even looking at you. You look around, there's no sign of whatever motivated the bush bub to run so fast. At least that's something to be grateful about.
The thing with the giant skyscraper like legs walking past us reminds me a bit of The Mist.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the very end.
Yep.
When they just see the giant thing.
The anime Made in Abyss has some really giant, gnarly giraffe things. The water in this pond is slightly greener color than you're used to seeing. It smells sweet, but kind of acidic too. That's odd. Let's drink it!
Organic lemonade!
Water tastes sweet growing down. Not so sweet coming back up an hour later. Blech. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Science! That's just science!
Yep. What doesn't kill you leaves you as weak as a kitten.
And vulnerable to future infections.
Mm-hmm.
At the edge of one of the circular ponds, something sparkling catches your eye. Well, everything around here sparkles, but this thing really catches your eye. The water in the little lake is deep and milky, though, and you can't see the bottom. It's completely still, almost too still, and so perfectly circular. You remember you've been warned about getting too close to these pools. Bravery! Five. 0, 1, 3, 4. Perfect. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5.
4, 5. But what if
We want 16.
there's 3 more?
Okay, well we've got... Okay, hold on. Put in the other... Yeah, there we go.
You aren't scared of some pond or whatever might live in it. You march up to the edge, keeping your eyes on the shiny prize, and paw around in the snow looking for that shiny whatever it is. Looks like it's a pretty crystal, just sitting on the ground. Good find. We found a rock.
Yep. That was all that was in that pool. Oh, there's another.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just want to go further in.
All right.
You stop to watch a herd of shaggy purple-furred animals slowly meander down a slope. You've never seen them before. Do you want to try?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so 47 plus 1 to physical red cards and 5 kudos if total equals goal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean,
That's a pretty good chunk.
This is troublesome. So we could just go.
Yep. And then this should be easy.
Yeah.
So you want
Yeah,
exactly 14. So
Getting 8 now should be trivial. Nope. This is troublesome.
hey,
If I just do it stochastically. Getting paid.
each and every day. The creature's fur is like grass, so they must be some kind of photosynths, an animal that gets part of their energy from the sun. They couldn't be absorbent photosynths, bush bubs, because they've got branches growing out of their heads and backs. You check your survey journal. It says bush bubs are common here, but they're smaller, solitary creatures. So nope. And they're too small to be balneal photosynths who don't usually leave the water.
New species.
Maybe, that would be cool. You decide to name them just in case. And you look at them through your holoculars at maximum zoom. You can kind of make out they have the super long jaws and the huge underbite, so you name them
Herding sunbite?
herding sunbiters.
Maybe?
Naming things is hard, so herding sunbiters will have to do. You log your discovery. Log.
Log. That just log.
A bush bub's blocking the path, lumbering slowly back and forth between a dense strand of gloop mushes, or whatever these plants are called. Wide circular lake. It's like it's on some kind of patrol. It growls a warning when you try to squeeze past it, so you back off. From the look in its eyes, this one isn't letting you go through that easy.
Hmm.
Beep 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 boop boop boop. Boop. Boop boop.
Yeah, get the.
And boop. Boop 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 boop.
Just,
One.
yeah.
You sneak through the gloop mushes, crawling under them so the bush bub doesn't see you. You nearly get stuck at one point and wonder, what if Dis has to come rescue you? That would be embarrassing. You find a route, though, and continue on your way. Oh, we got sleepy.
Oh.
Alright. So we made it all the way home. This is a good time for us to wrap up, I think.
Yeah, agreed. So, I'll be solo next week.
Yeah.
but we do want to come back to this after that,
Yeah.
right? I'm really enjoying this game a lot. The idea that like New Game Plus is still like canonically you returning and using new knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm kind of interested to see how that mechanic is articulated in the game, or what kind of rationale it gives you for it. Because right now there's like hints that you're, precognitive in some way.
Mm.
And psionic abilities did come up in Alpha Centauri.
Ooh.
So the idea that like the interaction with this planet kind of prompts some kind of psionic ability in you
Yeah.
is kind of intriguing, right? Like there's a little bit of precedent for that in games about exocolonialism. But I do want to see also how this game continues to interrogate the idea of colonialism.
Mm-hmm. Like so far, they've just been clear cutting Mushwood.
Yeah, and you kind of like don't like that very much. And all the animals here are very cute, which is we'll see how it all comes out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, then, thank you all for being with us today. Hope you have a
Yeah.
good one.
See you soon.
Bye.